Hey everyone, I'm Easton Cook, and for the past 5 years, I have been traveling for free. Now, I've never actually talked about how I do it or even what I do for a living. There's a reason for that, and I'll come back to that point. But if you've seen any of my super amateur travel vlogs, all in my channel by the way, you've seen that I've been to Athens, Greece. I got to see some of the ruins there. I got to go to Iceland. I've been all around there, the Blue Lagoon. I've seen the tomb of Jesus in Israel, and also I went with one of my best friends, the Cliffs of Moher. And that list goes on. And I decided to go to these places in a moment's notice. I mean, I just split decision, I'm going. So how did I do that? Well, some of you may be thinking, obviously credit cards, right? I used the points or I just racked up the debt. No. Some of you may be thinking, oh, well, you got money, you're rich. Also, no, not even close. I live in a house that I don't even own, and I'm moving soon. Some of you may be thinking, oh, you work for an airline. Bingo, that is actually correct. I do. I work for an airline. I am a flight attendant for a major US airline. Now, I mentioned that I've never actually talked about being a flight attendant, right? Ever. In any of my social medias, you can go to my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, and I never actually mentioned that I'm a flight attendant. Well, the reason is the company I work for has a pretty strict social media policy, and so I never really wanted to associate myself with them outside of work because I never wanted to cross any boundaries, like personal versus work life. But the truth must come out because I fly everywhere, and I've always gotten questions, how do you do it? And I've never actually mentioned it or talked about it, and it's time I do. Most of the time I just answer, oh, I travel for work, but that doesn't really answer the question. So now that's exactly what I'm doing, especially with me taking YouTube more seriously. I'm like, I just need to be more transparent about my life. Like the fact that I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt, y'all, Spider-Man is tonight if this airs Friday night. Anyway, it's Friday. And Spider-Man came out tonight and I'm seeing it at 6 p.m. I'm so excited. I ran to you know what? I just noticed this. Okay. I ran to Target. I'm not even ashamed. I ran to Target to buy a Spider-Man shirt because that's how obsessed I am. I love me some Spider-Man. But anyway, yes, I am part of the not so friendly skies these days. Actually, speaking of the not so friendly skies these days, can we talk about the airplane violence going on for just a second? And I'm serious, I can't stand the masks, but our job forces us to enforce this mask mandate. And the flight attendant asking you to put your mask on doesn't enjoy doing it either. I promise. I've had my fair share where I had to go up to someone and say, hey, could you put your mask on? And I'm just not a fan of it because I feel bad doing it. I know they feel like a child that I have to get onto them. But at the end of the day, you signed the policy. You said, yes, I'm going to put my mask on. So just leave your mask on, all right? I'm just trying to help you out there. Hopefully it goes away soon. Actually, some of the major US airlines executives went before the Senate recently and said that masks are essentially unnecessary on aircraft, which they've been saying since the beginning. So hopefully we'll actually be done with the masks pretty soon. I'm honestly, but this is also stuff they've known. So honestly, who knows? I'm chalking it up to government loves control. Anyway, aside from that little rant and little political thought, yes, I'm a flight attendant. That is the main part here. I am a flight attendant, and there are 3 things I want you to know about flying for free as a flight attendant or flying for free working for an airline in general. Number 1, it's not actually free. Yes, you can book the flight and no money's gonna leave your paycheck. You don't have to swipe a card. It's actually as easy as booking an Uber, except you never really pay, right? Like no money comes out, but you get taxed on the base fare of that flight. The cost of that flight is like the base fare, right? The yield fare, what that flight costs to operate as a service at bare minimum. And when you fly for free, you get taxed on that service as imputed income. Imputed income is essentially benefits that employees receive that aren't part of their salary or wages. However, these benefits are still taxed as part of their income. Let's just say that you made $50,000 in a year, right? Okay, you made $50,000 and you took 10 flights, and those 10 flights at a base fare were $500. Well, even though you paid nothing for those flights, you are still going to be taxed at $50,500. Does that make sense? So you're still paying the taxes on those flights, even though you never actually paid for the flights. That's extremely simplified because this is not a finance channel. Paying taxes on the yield fare or the base fare over actually paying $600 for a round trip, oh, that'll win every single time. I would much rather just pay the taxes on the service. This is just to say that it's not technically free, because I get the question all the time, oh, you fly for free. I technically do, kinda, but I also am paying taxes on it, so it's bleh. Number 2, when you fly for free like this using airline benefits, it's non-revenue standby. Let me explain this one. While some passengers pay for standby, right, they are paying for a seat that they hope they get. A non-revenue standby is basically once every single paying passenger gets their seat, and there's 1, 2, maybe 3 seats left, if you're lucky these days, then the non-revenue passenger will finally get that. But, and there's always that but, you will only get that seat based on how long you've been with the company. So, for example, let's say I have been with the company for 3 years. I list for the flight. I say, all right, looks like I'm going to San Diego. Can't wait. And then as I'm waiting at the gate, within a certain time frame, another person who's been with the company for 3 years and 1 day lists, and then there's 1 seat open left, that person that just listed would get it. It goes by seniority. Airlines are all about seniority. And that means that you're gonna sit your butt in a chair and just wait for the next flight. It's brutal. Honestly, there have been days where I've spent all day in an airport. I'm talking miss super cool, like the benefits are great, don't get me wrong, but you are flying non-revenue, so you just hope for a seat, doesn't mean you're always gonna get it. Number 3, you take the last seat available, right? Whatever's left, which typically means the last seats ever purchased on a flight, middle seats. More than likely, you're getting a middle seat. Now, there are times when you don't. Do not get me wrong. I have flown and I've been like, oh, this is pleasantly surprised. This is amazing. I love this. Honestly, when you expect a middle seat, it actually makes the news easier when the gate agent has to break it to you like, hey, so we have 23 Bravo or 23B open. And you're like, huh. Or if you're doing the whole Southwest thing, that whole gladiator match that is Southwest when you board, they're gonna be like, all right, go ahead and board, and you get on and every seat's filled except for that one like middle seat. Yeah. So that's how I fly for free. I am a flight attendant for a major US airline. And please note, these are all very high overview details on how this works. It gets pretty complex, as in like the status when you non-rev, and when you can list, what time limits there are. There's a bunch of different little intricate details. Now, if you like this video and you want a deeper dive into it, y'all give me some likes. Definitely comment below. I'm happy to make more videos on this and actually talk more about the flight attendant lifestyle or just the airline industry in general. And as far as non-revenue travel goes or flying for free, I can dive more into that as well. Also, a little disclaimer, all airlines are slightly different in the way they do their processes. And so this is just a high overview of how it mainly goes. So make sure and subscribe, follow me on the socials. I'll have all the links below. I'll have a link to different equipment that I use as I do these videos, as I kind of upgrade a little bit on YouTube. So definitely, if you're looking at starting up a YouTube channel, check out those links, the camera, the mic I use. I'll do a video on that later as well. So make sure and follow me on the socials, because I'm actually moving to Denver, and so I will be posting a lot of my my non-revenue travel, my free flying or whatever, on my Instagram story. So definitely follow me on there. I post a lot on my story. I hope this video was informational, y'all. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks for watching. Take care.